They call him the Monster of Raywa. A kid born out of tragedy, raised in silence, sharpened by loss, and armed with a fastball that looks like it was engineered by something not entirely human. Before fans screamed his name, before scouts whispered he might be the greatest pitching talent the world has seen in half a century. And before the 102s, the perfect game, the strikeout parades, Roki Sasaki was a boy standing on the shoreline of Iwate, staring at the same ocean that had taken everything from him. Because unlike most prodigies who rise through glory, trophies, or privilege, Roki's story began with devastation, and it never left him. It became a quiet shadow at his side, a constant reminder of what had been lost and what could never be taken for granted again. March 11th, 2011. The Tohoku earthquake, an entire region shaken to its core, followed by a tsunami that swallowed whole cities. What came afterward was chaos, silence, and a landscape erased into debris. Roki was 9 years old. His father and grandparents were killed when the water hit their home. Everything familiar, every comforting piece of childhood, was gone in minutes. The world he knew simply vanished, leaving behind a scar that time would never fully heal. His family didn't just lose loved ones. They lost their community, their home, their sense of safety. Forced to flee, they rebuilt from nothing, starting over in a new town with only memories to carry forward. Carrying grief is heavy for anyone. For a child, it becomes part of who you are. And out of that traumatic silence rose a child who refused to break. He didn't seek attention. He didn't chase cameras. He grew quiet, observant, focused. He learned to read the world carefully, to hold emotion close, to channel everything inward. And baseball became the place where he could breathe again, a small island of normalcy in a sea of loss. He didn't grow up chasing velocity. He grew up chasing meaning, something to anchor him, something he could control in a world that had shown him how quickly life could be taken away. Every throw was a release, every pitch a step forward. In high school, Roki's arm began to reveal itself, not slowly, not subtly, suddenly, violently, beautiful, like a secret that had been waiting to erupt. His fastball touched 100 miles per hour as a teenager, something almost unheard of in Japan. Hitters walked to the plate confused, maybe even annoyed, wondering how a kid who barely spoke above a whisper was throwing baseballs that made grown men rethink their profession. It was raw power with elegance, controlled fury wrapped in silence. Word spread quickly. Scouts followed him everywhere. Teams begged to draft him immediately. Every major baseball mind who saw him understood this wasn't normal talent. This was generational. But Roki was different. He did not chase the money or the spotlight. He didn't want to be rushed. He didn't want to burn out young. He knew that greatness wasn't a race, nor something to be forced before its time. He wanted to grow, correctly, patiently, on his own terms. The Chiba Lotte Marines understood that, and so in 2020, he joined them quietly, the way he did everything, without ceremony, without noise, without ego. He showed up, worked, learned, waited. But what came next was impossible to hunt. April 10th, 2022, a date that belongs in the same room as perfect games, no-hitters, postseason legends. But this one felt more like a baseball myth come to life, the kind of performance fans tell their children about. Roki Sasaki stepped on the mound and delivered perhaps the single greatest pitching performance Japanese baseball has ever seen. 27 up, 27 down. A perfect game. 19 strikeouts. 13 consecutive Ks. The youngest perfect game pitcher in NPB history. The first perfecto in the league in 28 years. Every pitch looked like a weapon. Every batter looked helpless. The stadium felt like a movie scene. Fans collectively whispering, "Is this really happening?" It didn't seem possible that a pitcher so young could command the game so completely. And then the impossible happened again. In his next start, Roki threw 8 more perfect innings, retiring 24 more hitters in a row. Before he was removed at 102 pitches, even the decision to remove him sparked debate across Japan because nobody wanted the magic to end. That's 17 consecutive perfect innings, 51 straight retired batters, a number so absurd it sounded like someone had typed it incorrectly. It made no sense. It sounded fake. It felt like a highlight reel for a future Hall of Famer, except Roki was barely 20 years old, a kid doing things grown men had no answer for. The baseball world had no choice but to pay attention. Writers, analysts, coaches, they all said the same thing. We've never seen anything like him. Then came the world stage, the 2023 World Baseball Classic. Under the bright lights, under the roar of global attention, under the weight of representing Japan, Roki Sasaki stepped into the moment, and he became larger than it. He pitched with the calmness of a monk and the power of a lightning bolt. Against Mexico, against the United States, against lineups filled with MLB All-Stars and MVPs, Roki threw 100+ miles per hour fastballs like he was tossing warm-up pitches. He made superstars miss. He froze major leaguers with splitters that fell off the table at the last possible pixel. Hitters stared at each other in disbelief. Even the most seasoned MLB hitters walked back to the dugout shaking their heads. They weren't embarrassed. They were stunned. The world understood in that moment. Roki wasn't just the best pitching prospect in Japan. He might be the best pitching prospect on Earth. Back in NPB, the legend only grew. Stadiums sold out whenever he pitched. Fans traveled hours, sometimes days, to witness him live. Every outing felt like an event, a performance, a clinic. Even casual fans knew something special was happening. But fame never changed Roki. He remained quiet, polite, almost reserved. He didn't pump his fist after strikeouts. He didn't scream after big moments. He didn't seek spotlight. He sought execution. He simply nodded, walked back to the mound, and prepared for the next pitch. The calmness didn't match the violence of his arsenal, but it made him even scarier. Because when your weapon is that good, you don't need theatrics. Roki Sasaki pitches like someone who knows life is fragile. Because he learned that early, he carries grief in silence, discipline in every breath, and purpose in every delivery. Every inning is played with gratitude and intent. Then came the announcement, the one MLB had been waiting for. Roki Sasaki was finally coming to America. The posting system opened. Teams prepared offers so massive they could rewrite the entire market. General managers whispered that he might break every contract record for a pitcher his age. Some believed he was even more gifted than Yamamoto. Others said his ceiling was higher than Ohtani, as a pure pitcher. The monster of Raywa was coming. The storm Japan had unleashed upon the baseball world was about to land on MLB soil. But behind the velocity, behind the splitter, behind the control, behind the myth, there is still the boy from Iwate. The kid who survived a disaster. The kid who rebuilt his life from ashes. The kid who found meaning in a baseball, purpose in a windup, and destiny in a mound. Roki Sasaki is not loud. He is not arrogant. He does not demand respect. He earns it with every pitch. Every time he steps onto a mound, stadiums get quiet. Something electric fills the air, because whether fans know it or not, they're witnessing one of the most naturally gifted pitchers of this generation. Roki Sasaki isn't the future of baseball. He is the calm before the storm. He is the storm after the calm. He is the next great ace. He is the miracle child who outran tragedy, and now outruns hitters. And his legend is only getting started.